It is my prayer and hope that this video is going to find you when you're doing fine and you're doing health. I'm also doing fine at this peripheral end, so let me know where you're watching this video from, which country, which continent, and the weather condition. I'm coming live from the Middle East, and all is well and everything is cool. So guys, I want to talk about something else here, because it was just a matter of a time for Donald Trump to come out and particularly say something pertaining the Chinese. You know, what is all about this thing that Trump decided to talk about Chinese? Perhaps let's watch this video below, because it's going to mark
to our country. It's being operated by China. And we gave the Panama Canal to Panama. We didn't give it to China.
They also purchased, if I'm not mistaken, the port, the main port of Jamaica.
All right, they own the port.
Is owned by the Chinese. Exactly. If another race owns your port, that means they control what's coming in. They control what's going out. What about the drugs? What about the guns? What about the COVID?
And the conversation that we want to delve in deep, because we just wanted to unearth the reasons why Trump had to come out and challenge Chinese big time. Well, he's saying that the Chinese has invaded particular kind of lands, and mostly in Caribbean. And specifically was talking of the Panama, that's in Jamaica itself. And he said they gave the Jamaican the canal, not to the Chinese, because the Chinese is now invading it. Now, he said it's high time the Chinese people to leave, or high time Chinese people left the Panama. It never took a time, because there's also a podcaster who took it so full throttle and decided to delve into it and weigh into the issue. Now, the guy is telling us the Chinese themselves have acquired to themselves the port of Jamaica. Now they are owning it. Well, we still don't know the veracity of the issue, because we want to delve into that issue. Secondly, is saying the possibility and the effect whenever you have a foreigner or a foreign government interfere with your territorial boundary. Maybe because of their giving trade, there is a lot of effects that might, because sometimes drug might come in, the arms might come in, and the illegal immigrants also must come in. It comes with myriads of challenges going forward. And the person who have just spoken at last is supporting Trump on his statement. Whether it's going to be successful or not, it's a story for another day. So, guys, I just want to talk about this thing, because that one alone is going to form our deliberation and our discourse going forward. But at the end and the start, what I believe in, that the interest of Jamaican as a people and as a government resides within the Jamaican themselves. Because I've got a point that I want to put across, but before putting across that point, if you're coming across this video for the very first time, kindly click on the notification bell so that whenever I put a video, YouTube shall notify instantly. My loyal subscriber, may God bless you abundantly. So let's dive in straight away. Bless you for it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my YouTube chit chat. My name is Inazak, and this is my YouTube channel. So guys, I want to delve into this issue, because this issue itself, it's of importance to the Caribbean people and also to the entire world, because it never took any time. Trump have kicked on and start working on issues. In fact, the issue of trade is so important to Trump. And that's now the main reasons why Trump is coming to create order and maybe to come and protect the free space. That is according to his speech. Well, back to the real matter, because this one also connected to that matter. Why has Trump decided want to move China out of the Caribbean? Because it's talking about a lot of things that even the Denmark, the Russian, and the Chinese ships are just cruising over the Panama, and he's saying they've misused that gift, because the gift was given Panama, not to Chinese and all these kind of people, but these people have misused the gift that were given. And in fact, it's going ahead and telling us that gift that was given to Jimmy Carter, the former president that has been, I don't know which, it was what number of the president, but the Jimmy Carter name is there. I think the one that has fallen just recently, is talking about that's what made the Jimmy Carter himself to lose election, because it was something so serious, because that canal is so important to the United States. As you know, the superpower itself, they always guard the water territorial, the land territorial, and they have all the army bases themselves, which means they want the trade. They want also to protect their sovereignty, because they don't want intruder itself. If you can see even the border between the United States of America and Mexico, Trump is ever serious about it. I think that is the point, that trade and security reasons, very major point, and specifically trade. And therefore, because it never stopped from there, Trump had a meeting with mostly the Caribbean leader. All of them had a meeting, and they sat down, and they were briefed, and they were welcomed, invited to talk about the trade itself, because the main conversation herein was about trade, and how Trump has been so helpful to part of the Caribbean. The countries who were there were Dominican Republic, Bahamas was there, Haiti was there, plus the rest, because these people are positioning themselves, and Trump are preparing them, because it becomes one of the missions of the United States, because there's a lot to it. So perhaps let's watch this video below, then I will come and put in this here and there before.
You have approximately 45,000 people there. People really don't even know if Denmark has any legal right to it. But if they do, they should give it up, because we need it for national security. That's for the free world. I'm talking about protecting the free world. You don't even need binoculars. You look outside, you have China ships all over the place. You have Russian ships all over the place. We're not letting that happen. We're not letting it happen. And if Denmark wants to get to a conclusion, but nobody knows if they even have any right, title, or interest. The people are going to probably vote for independence or to come into the United States. But if they did do that, then I would tariff Denmark at a very high level. The Panama Canal is vital to our country. It's being operated by China. And we gave the Panama Canal to Panama. We didn't give it to China. And they've abused it. They've abused that gift. It should have never been made, by the way. Giving the Panama Canal is why Jimmy Carter lost the election, in my opinion, more so maybe than the hostages. The hostages were a big deal. But if you remember, and nobody wants to talk about the Panama Canal now because, it's inappropriate, I guess, but because it's a bad part of the Carter legacy. But he was a good man. Look, he was a good man. I knew him a little bit, and he was a very fine person, but that was a big mistake. Giving the Panama Canal to Panama was a very big mistake. Terrific people that have been friends of mine, in many cases friends of mine. They've done a wonderful job in their respective countries, and we'll be talking about many subjects. Trade, we always talk about trade, but we'll also be discussing, I have a feeling, Venezuela. That may come up in our conversation. It's become a very big topic all over the world, Venezuela. And we look forward to spending a lot of time together this afternoon and discussing ways that we can be beneficial to you and you can be beneficial to us. And we very much appreciate your being at Mar-a-Lago. It's a great honor. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. If you'd like to say something to the media, maybe we'll start with you.
First of all, I want to thank you very much for extending the invitation to St. Lucia to participate. I want to thank you for the support and leadership that you've been providing in our region. The United States is our biggest trading partner, and we'd like to think of the amount of trade that also the U.S. benefits from in the Caribbean. And so we're very much looking forward to these discussions today and seeing how we can enhance the relationship to our mutual benefits.
Very good. Thank you. Please.
Merci, Monsieur le Président. Thank you, Mr. President. On behalf of Haiti and the United States are two countries that are not only friends, but very close. I am a friend, and Miami is actually less than 2 hours away from our island. And we are here this afternoon. We'll have discussions of good things, things that will be positive for both countries. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you, Mr. President, for your invitation. We thank you. The Dominican Republic and the United States of America are two important partners. In fact, the United States is our main economic partner, and we are here to discuss issues of the region, and we are here to your avail to collaborate. Thank you.
We look forward to discussions on energy, on trade, but on security as well. We look forward to discussing regional issues to do with the peace and stability of the region and how we can move forward with the prosperity of our people. So we thank you again for the invitation.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I'm delighted to have been invited here today to discuss certain issues that are of mutual benefit to both of us. The Bahamas, the United States has been our #1 trading partner. We are neighbors. We have great relationship. We will continue to foster such relationship. I know that the meetings and the discussion today will be very productive, and we expect to come out with positive views and feelings. Thank you very much.
I think that'll happen. Thank you very much. We appreciate it, everybody, and we look forward to the discussion. Thank you. Thank you all very much. Thank you.
Chinese are building it's probably done by now. They were building at that time 2 schools, and they were bringing Chinese educators over to help the Jamaican people educate black children. They built a children's hospital, which is supposed to be largely staffed with Chinese. They also gave the Chinese total control of all tourism on both sides of that highway that goes from one side of the island to the other. I was also told that they gave the Chinese the right to drill in natural rainforests in the Jamaican on the Jamaican territory for Chinese exploitation. They'd given them tax abatements, and they also purchased, if I'm not mistaken, the port, the main port of Jamaica.
All right, they own the port.
Is owned by the Chinese. Exactly. If another race owns your port, that means they control what's coming in. They control what's going out. What about the drugs? What about the guns? What about the COVID? You don't know what them people bringing in. And you mean to tell me that the Chinese care so much about Jamaican people that they're not going to educate our kids and take care of their health? Chinese don't care about black folks. Go to China. Go to China and see how they treat black people in China. So to me, what I think this is the government of Jamaica, like so many African governments, so many other Caribbean governments have done. They've gotten in bed financially with the Chinese. The Chinese have studied the way the white man has practiced neocolonialism throughout Africa. And the Chinese has learned that these black leaders don't really care about their people. They're all about their pocket. So I'm going to do what the white man did, but I'm going to do it 1 time better. I'm going to offer them double the money. You let me take over this land right here. I'll get the white man offering you $1 million. I'm offering you $3 million. And I'm going to build you a retirement home. And I'm going to pay for all your kids to go to college in China. You follow what I'm saying? And I'm going to give you a private military. So the Chinese have basically become neocolonialists 2.0. They're outdoing the Europeans. You follow me? And they're giving Caribbean and African leaders offers that they can't refuse. And guess what? When you abdicate on that loan that they give you, because all this is loans. These are not handouts. It's all loans. When you abdicate on the loan in that contract, you have to give them large concessions of land and large concessions of your economy. There's an African country right now. Is it Uganda? There is an African country who defaulted on their loan to the Chinese, and they now own their national airport. I forget which, they own the airport now because they couldn't pay back the loan. The Chinese know what they're doing. The problem we have as African people is we tend to think anybody who's not white is a friend of ours. Nobody is our friend, not the Arab, not the Chinese, not the Latino, except the African Latinos who identify with us, not the East Indians, not the Native Americans. We don't have friends. But black people have been seduced into this multiculturalism, which says the brown man is your friend, the yellow man is your friend, the red man is your friend. No, they're not. Black people don't have no friends. And my greatest fear about Chinese neocolonialism 2.0 My greatest fear about
That's the
Chinese
video that has been
neocolonialism
watched. And
2.0
you've seen the high-level
is
meeting,
when
including the high official from the Caribbean countries, which means we have the trade minister, we have the prime minister, all of them, right from Haiti, Belize, Bahamas, Jamaican, all these territorial. The United States has got an interest in it. And he's speaking of those issues, but he's saying that the Denmark also has invaded that Panama. The Russian also has invaded the Panama. The Chinese has invaded the Panama. And he's talking of the disruption, and he's talking of the misuse of that Panama. He's saying when the canal was being given to the Panama, it was given them as a gift, thinking that they will take care of it. But now, other partners with vested interests has come in. And more so, this video itself really tells us how Trump is going to rule going forward. More so, its interest is vested in Caribbean. You know, this is what I want to say. All these people are the same. The same interest United States is having on the Caribbean is the same interest. All these countries, the Chinese, Russia, Denmark, all of them is having to the Caribbean. It's about issue of trade, trade, trade. It just depends with the policy on how other people are doing it. Because what I know, Chinese people will come, build you an infrastructure because on a loan with their own resources, which means they guard their own integrity and resources. And they're doing it with a tax-free, which means they also deny you the capital. Because you need the country, the basis of every government is tax. But when the Chinese people have come, they come up with their own materials that have already been waived totally from their own country. They literally buy nothing from your country, which means they're using their own resources. Therefore, they will have to run that project for a period of a specified time for them to get back the profit plus the interest going forward. That's how the Chinese are doing. Well, in the US, I think US also feel threatened because Chinese have already acquired even in the African state. That's what Chinese did. And all the African leaders went to the east than to the west. And it's a competition of trade. But the interest of Chinese, the interest of USA is also about the trade, and it's also about the security because it's the world superpower. So it must position himself to safeguard its free space, to safeguard where her security is a threat. And now the part of Panama that is being alleged said that the Chinese has got a full control of it and running that port. It's equally a threat to the United States because any other kind of things could be smuggled. Any other kind of goods and drugs could also find their own way from there, then abruptly into the US. I think this is the main reason, plus the trade itself, and this is where Trump is coming from. But all in all, what I know is the interest of the Jamaican people and all the Caribbean people should be given the priority. They know what is good for them. They know what they want to do with their country. And that is it, because all other this country, whether the European, who, all of them, they're the same, because they are coming to take and siphon whatever you have, then they will leave you dry. Others also are coming to protect their own priority, because their priority, Trump policy was saying, it's American themselves, first American. The rest will come later, going forward. So I think from this point, you Jamaicans, you can wait to eat because you know what you want, you know what your government wants, but your interests should be treated with a priority. Until next time, this is Senior Zach. So let me know your thoughts at the comment section. Bye.